You reach into the bag for one more. Just one more. You already told yourself that 5 minutes ago. The bag is somehow half empty. And the strangest part is, you are not even hungry. So what is happening inside you? The easy answer is willpower. You lack it. You are weak. You should just stop. But that answer is wrong. Completely, scientifically, historically wrong. Because the thing pulling your hand back into that bag is not a character flaw. It is a survival system so ancient it was already old before your species had a name. This is the real reason you cannot stop eating sugar. Your body runs on glucose. Every thought you are having right now, every heartbeat, every blink, is powered by a simple sugar molecule your blood is carrying to your cells at this exact second. Without it, your brain shuts down in minutes. Not hours, minutes. So your body evolved a single overriding directive. Find sugar. Find it now. Find as much of it as you can. And it built an entire neurological reward system to make sure you never, ever stopped looking. Researcher Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan spent decades studying this system. He found something unexpected. Your brain does not just register that sugar feels good. It produces a surge of dopamine the moment it detects the possibility of sugar. Not the taste, the possibility, the crinkle of the bag, the smell, the sight of the wrapper. Your brain fires before you take a single bite, flooding your body with a chemical signal that means one thing: go get more. Berridge called this wanting, not liking, and the distinction matters enormously. Liking is the brief flash of pleasure while the sugar is on your tongue. Wanting is the constant background pull toward finding more, and wanting, he discovered, is dramatically stronger than liking. You can suppress liking entirely in a lab rat, and it will still compulsively seek the food it no longer enjoys. The wanting system is almost impossible to turn off. It does not care if you are full. It does not care if you just ate. It is operating on a timeline far older than your conscious mind. Go back 200,000 years. Your ancestors woke up every day with one problem: calories. Not too many calories, not the right macros. Just enough calories to survive until tomorrow. For most of human history, sweet things were rare. Fruit was seasonal. Honey required finding a hive, getting stung repeatedly, and surviving. A concentrated source of sugar meant energy, and energy meant survival. And survival meant children, and children meant your genes lived on. The person who felt an overwhelming compulsion to consume every sweet thing they found left more descendants than the person who said, "I have had enough." Your brain is descended from the one who could not stop. You are not weak. You are the product of 200,000 years of winners. Anthropologist Richard Wrangham at Harvard argues that the human brain itself is partly a sugar story. The shift to cooking food, and particularly to starchy, carbohydrate-rich foods, unleashed a new calorie density that may have powered the dramatic expansion of the human brain over the last million years. Your oversized, energy-hungry brain is running on a glucose addiction built into its architecture. It consumes 20% of your body's energy while making up only 2% of your mass. It is not just craving sugar, it was built by sugar. It is sugar. Now place that ancient machine inside a modern grocery store. For 99% of human history, the sweetest thing you could find was a piece of fruit or a wild root. Today, you can walk down an aisle and find hundreds of products engineered by teams of food scientists specifically to hit the exact dopamine trigger your ancestors evolved over millennia. Howard Moskowitz, the food scientist who famously worked on optimizing product formulations in the 1970s and 1980s, described his mission as finding the bliss point, the precise concentration of sugar, salt, and fat that produces maximum craving. Not maximum satisfaction, maximum craving. The goal was never to make you full. The goal was to make the wanting system fire so reliably that you would come back. Your ancient brain never evolved a defense against this. It could not have. It was designed for a world where too much sugar was physically impossible. Here is what that looks like inside your skull. The moment sugar hits your tongue, specialized taste receptors send a signal racing up your nervous system. Your hypothalamus registers it. Your nucleus accumbens, The brain's reward hub lights up. Dopamine floods the synapse. Your prefrontal cortex, the rational part, receives a loud message. This is important. Remember this. Come back here. Meanwhile, your insulin response kicks in, dropping your blood glucose slightly even as you eat, which creates a subtle dip that your brain interprets as a need for more. The system is circular. Sugar triggers wanting. Wanting drives eating. Eating triggers the dip. The dip drives more wanting. It was never about willpower. It is a loop your brain runs automatically, the same way it runs breathing. Robert Lustig, a neuroendocrinologist at the University of California, San Francisco, has spent years documenting how fructose in particular interacts with this system differently than glucose. While glucose is processed throughout the body, fructose is metabolized almost entirely in the liver, in a pathway that does not trigger the same satiety signals. In practical terms, this means certain forms of sugar bypass the system that tells you that you are full. You keep eating not because you failed to listen to your body. You keep eating because your body genuinely did not send the stop signal. That is not a moral failure. That is biochemistry operating exactly as designed, in an environment it was never designed for. This is the gap that modern life has opened up. Your hardware is paleolithic. Your environment is not. The craving system your ancestors needed to survive the hungry season is running at full power inside a world of infinite engineered sweetness. And every time you feel guilty for reaching back into the bag, you are blaming yourself for having a human brain. So what do you do with this? Knowing the mechanism does not make the craving disappear, but it does change what it means. When you feel that pull, you are not hearing the voice of weakness. You are hearing 200,000 years of survival logic doing exactly what it evolved to do. The signal is ancient. The food it is responding to is not. The mismatch between them is the whole story. And there is one more thing worth knowing. Berridge and his colleagues found that the wanting system can be recalibrated slowly through repeated exposure to lower stimulus foods. The brain is not locked permanently in a high craving state, but it recalibrates on a biological clock, not a willpower clock. It takes time, it takes consistency, and it requires understanding that you are not fighting yourself. You are working with a system that was built across hundreds of thousands of years to keep you alive. Tonight, when you reach for something sweet, you will feel that pull again. The same pull your ancestor felt standing in front of a fig tree at the edge of a savanna, heart beating faster, hand already moving before the thought had fully formed. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are exactly what survival looks like when it outlives the world it was built for. And that ancient hunger, the one your brain still cannot shake, is the reason you are here at all.